All right, sports fans, how's everybody out there doing? William Martin coming at you one more time here on YouTube with another edition of the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge Podcast. Now, with just 60 games remaining in the 2021 Major League Baseball season, the Tampa Bay Rays have put themselves in a position to win the American League East for the second consecutive year. Tampa today just completed a four-game sweep at home of the last place Baltimore Orioles in that division, and they are once again the team to beat in the AL East. The Rays now have a 5.5 game lead over the second place New York Yankees, while the faltering Boston Red Sox are 6.5 games behind Tampa. We have seen in this second half of the season that Tampa has really distanced themselves from Boston. Number one, they took 5 out of 6 of their meetings from Boston, which included a 3-game sweep at Tropicana Field in late July. We've also seen the Red Sox falter as they were swept this week by the New York Yankees, and they are really, fading at the worst time. But nonetheless, let's talk about the Rays and what they're doing. They are protecting their home field as they are 39-22 this season at Tropicana Field. The Rays are also second in the American League in runs scored, while they are third in home runs. You look at the addition of designated hitter Nelson Cruz. The Rays acquired him just prior to the trade deadline in Major League Baseball last month. And in just 21 games so far with Tampa, Cruz already has 7 home runs. You look at these seasons that the likes of Randy Arozarena, Brandon Lowe, and Mike Zunino are having for Tampa Bay. And, pitching continues to be the name of the game for Tampa Bay. They're still one of the best pitching staffs in Major League Baseball. I know that they really lean on the analytics and they use their bullpens a lot. But you look at Shane McClanahan out of that starting rotation, he's been solid. And for what it's worth, this team has really not skipped a beat, even though they lost Tyler Glasnow earlier this season to a Tommy John surgery. We also saw this club trade starting pitcher Blake Snell in the offseason to the San Diego Padres. And then, of course, this year they traded starting pitcher Rich Hill to the New York Mets. But so far, the Rays have not skipped a beat. They're still getting quality pitching. And that is a credit to Kevin Cash and the rest of this Rays organization. You look at Tampa's chances right now of winning the American League East, and they're pretty good. Granted, I know that the Yankees are in second place, and the Yankees are charging. They are one of, if not the hottest teams in Major League Baseball right now, but they still have some work ahead of them in order to catch Tampa. And of course, the Yankees really don't have a lot of games left with Tampa. But nonetheless, I keep talking about how the teams in the American League East are going to continue to beat each other up, and that's the case. And for Tampa, they made the most of it this week. They beat up on Baltimore. I'm sure they would have loved to see the Yankees and Red Sox have a split there. But nonetheless, the Yankees took care of their business versus Boston, and now they're in second place. But still, Tampa has a workable margin in front of them. And on top of that, not just a workable margin, Tampa also has a workable schedule remaining. Big time 3-game set for Tampa Bay this weekend at home when they host the Chicago White Sox, who were in first place in the American League Central. And the White Sox are barreling towards a division crown. 2 games next week in Philadelphia versus the Phillies. And the Phillies are really stumbling right now. They are still in contention to win the NL East, but nonetheless, this is when you want to take care of your business if you're Tampa. And after that, 3 games in Baltimore next week versus the faltering Orioles. And that's another opportunity for Tampa to fatten up in the win column. And then going into the month of September, a 4-game set at the end of August heading into September at home versus the Boston Red Sox, which is followed by 3 at home versus the Minnesota Twins. And then after that, it's a lengthy road trip with 3 in Boston, 3 in Detroit versus the Tigers, and 3 more north of the border in Toronto versus the Jays. But you look at it right now, obviously the other teams in the American League East, they still have their work cut out for them. But right now, it looks like it's Tampa's division to lose. And when you think about the Rays in the playoffs, you never know what you're going to get from this team. They were the best team in the American League last year, and they flexed their muscles en route to their second American League pennant in franchise history. It's going to be tougher this year for the Rays to get back to the World Series. First and foremost, with what we've seen in about the last 10 or 15 years, it's all about who gets hot coming down the stretch and who's able to carry that momentum into the postseason. But nonetheless, you look at the White Sox, they're going to be a very formidable team this year. Uh, you don't know who's coming out of the West, whether it's going to be Houston Astros or Oakland Athletics. And then you look at some of these wild card teams. I mean, the Yankees are hot right now, and they could keep that momentum going for themselves into a postseason berth, and who knows what could happen. Boston could turn things around. And, it's still too early to count out Toronto. So a lot of things can happen. But I will say this about the Rays. I like their chances to win this division right now. And on top of that, they're going to have a puncher's chance in the postseason by the way that they play. Very fundamentally sound team, very fundamentally run organization. And, again, when you are a small market club like the Rays are, you have to take care of those things because you really can't miss a lot on your signings and free agency. It's definitely about developing players, getting guys to fit into your system. And that is what Tampa has succeeded in. They've, copied the book from the Oakland Athletics, another small market club in that facet. And they brought it to their organization and they've been extremely successful with it for about 15 years now. So with that said, I do like the Rays' chances in the postseason. Anything can happen. But, getting back to the present, you have to love what you're seeing from this team. They have been the most consistent club in the American League East all season long. And I think that consistency will get them their second consecutive division title. So, folks, that is going to wrap it up. And as always, I want to take this time out to thank you for tuning into the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast here on YouTube. I want to take the time out to thank all of you fine folks out there for tuning in. And if you have not already, please feel free to subscribe to this channel. Now, if you're on Twitter, please feel free to follow me at 300 Pounds of Sports. And like I always say, if you follow me, it will be my pleasure to follow you right back. There is also the sports discussion group on Facebook at the Sports Depot 365. You can check it out. Drop a line and be a part of one of the better sports debating sites going on social media. So once again, fine folks, my name is William Martin, signing off, saying take care and have yourselves a wonderful day.